morning students. Hope all are enjoying the glow of good health. Today we are going to learn non-finite verbs. First, let us understand what are finite verbs. Verbs which change with the change in person, number and tense are called finite verbs. What are non-finite verbs, children? The verbs which do not change with the change in person, number and tense are called as non-finite verbs. In this video lecture, children, along with the understanding of their meanings, we are also going to discuss kinds of non-finite verbs that are infinitives, participles and gerunds in detail. So let's begin. Children, verbs are divided into two types, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. What are finite verbs? Finite verbs are limited by the number and person of its subject. That means if the subject is singular, the verb will also be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb will also be plural. They exhibit tense. They also act as the predicate of the sentence. For example, I love apples. I love, not loves. He is playing hockey. So according to the tense, they are reading. So are reading is a predicate. What are non-finite verbs? In sharp contrast to finite verbs, non-finite verbs do not change with the number or person of the subject. For example, I like to play cricket. We like to play cricket. So whether the subject is I, singular, or whether the subject is plural we, the verb to play do not change. They cannot be the predicate of a sentence by themselves. Example, I like to play tennis. Children, as I have discussed that verbs are divided into two types, finite and non-finite verbs. Further, non-finite verbs are divided into infinitives, participle, that is plain infinitive, to infinitive, perfect infinitive, participles, present participle, past participle, perfect participle. Kinds of non-finite verbs. The non-finite verbs are divided into infinitives and participles. Further, infinitives are subdivided into plain or bare infinitive, to infinitive, perfect infinitive. Participles are further divided into present participle, past participle, perfect participle. Now what is plain or bare infinitive, children? That is base form of the verb. For example, go. To infinitive, to plus base form of the verb. Here, to go. Perfect infinitive, that is to have gone. To plus have plus past participle. Present participle, verb plus ing which act as an adjective in a sentence. For example, swimming. Past participle, we plus ed, that is verb's third form. Tired here. Perfect participle, being tired, having looked. So we have he can go, plain or bare infinitive, that is base form of the verb. He wants to go, that is to plus base form of the verb. He seems to have gone, to have gone, perfect infinitive, that is to plus have plus past participle. He saw me swimming, verb plus ing, that is which act as an adjective in a sentence, present participle. He felt tired. Tired, past participle. Being tired, he took rest under a tree. Being tired, perfect participle. The present participle can function as nouns and are called gerunds or verbal nouns. Both the present participles and past participle can function as adjectives and are called as verbal or participle adjectives. Look at the example, children. Swimming is a good exercise. So swimming, that is verb plus ing form, which act as a noun in a sentence, is a gerund. I heard an interesting story. Interesting, verb plus ing, which act as an adjective. Here it is present participle. He felt very tired after a long journey. That is past participle, which act as an adjective here in a sentence. Children, participles are further divided into present participle, past participle. Present participle has two forms of it, that is gerund, verb ing, which act as a noun in a sentence, verb plus ing, which act as an adjective in a sentence. Past participle, verb plus ed, which act as an adjective in a sentence. Now let us understand bare infinitives, that is base form of the verb. The bare infinitive is used with modals can, may, could, might, shall, will, etc. For example, you can come with me. So here you can see, children, come, that is base form of the verb, bare infinitive, and modal can. Next, they are used with transitive verbs like make, let, bid, hear, feel, see, watch, notice, etc. And we know, children, what do you mean by transitive verbs? Verbs which require an object to complete their sense. For example, he made me laugh. So here you can see the transitive verb made, which require an object as I discussed, that is me, object here, and the verb bare infinitive laugh, base form of the verb. It can be used with had better, had sooner, rather than, etc. For example, you had better go now. So you can see, children, had better and bare infinitive, that is base form of the verb, go here in the sentence. It is also used with but and except. He would say nothing but laugh. So you can see, children, here laugh, base form of the verb, that is bare infinitive. Now let us understand where to use bare infinitive and present participle. Verbs like feel, hear, notice, observe, see, etc. can be followed either by a bare infinitive, that is base form of the verb, or present participle, that is verb ing form. For example, I felt something move or moving. So here you can see, children, felt, verb, move, bare infinitive, moving, present participle. So you can either use bare infinitive or present participle. Let us discuss uses of to infinitive, that is to plus base form of the verb. The to infinitive can function as subject. To know him is not so easy. Here to know, that is to plus base form of the verb, is a subject in a sentence. Object, he wanted to play hockey. To play, here is an object. Subject complement. Her aim is to be a doctor. So as I have discussed children, complement means which is used to complete the expression here. So if it is used to complete the expression of a subject, then it is subject complement. Object of preposition. They are about to go. Here you can see children preposition about and to infinitive, that is to go. Complement of an adjective. She is eager to help us. Here you can see children to help, that is to infinitive. Adverbial of purpose. He stopped to talk. So why did he stop? What was the purpose? He stopped to talk. Object complement. They asked him to go. So here you can see the object him and to infinitive to go. The to infinitive may be used with have and ought to express the idea of obligation and duty respectively. He has to support his parents. So you can see children here to infinitive, that is to support, and has. It may be used as an adverbial of purpose. For example, I went there to meet my friend. That is, what is the purpose of the action went? To meet. So here you can see children to meet, that is to infinitive. The to infinitive may be used as direct object of the following verbs like agree, appear, ask, begin, choose, come, consent, decide, demand, desire, determine, expect, fail, hate, help, hope, intend, learn, like, love, pray, pretend, promise, refuse, seem, went, wish, etc. For example, he agreed to come. So here you can see children verb agreed and to infinitive, that is to come. The to infinitive can be used after the object with the following transitive verbs. So transitive verbs require an object to complete its sense. We know this children. So transitive verbs like advise, allow, ask, bring, compel, encourage, accept, forbid, force, help, invite, oblige, order, promise, request, teach, tell, want, warn, etc. For example, he expected me to obey his orders. So here you can see children transitive verb expected, object me, and to infinitive, that is to obey here in the sentence. The to infinitives are used as complements to the following adjectives like able, afraid, anxious, careful, certain, comfortable, cruel, delighted, difficult, glad, good, happy, hard, important, interesting, possible, proud, ready, sad, sure, wrong, etc. For example, he was able to cross the river. So here you can see children the adjective able and to infinitive to cross, which is used as complement. The to infinitive is also used as adverbial of purpose, that is in order to. For example, they went to meet the minister. So what was the purpose? to meet, that is to infinitive. The to infinitive can be used after enough and to plus adjective plus adverb. For example, she is too weak to walk. So here you can see children, to walk infinitive, to plus adjective, that is weak here. To plus adjective or adverb plus to infinitive construction can be changed as follows. For example, she is so weak that she cannot walk. So you can see children here, we can change the construction of to plus adjective plus adverb in this following way. The to infinitive replaces it as the subject in a sentence. It is a difficult task to solve this sum. So how it can take the place of a subject, children? Let us understand with the help of an example. To solve this sum is a difficult task. So here you can see children, to infinitive is used as subject. Next is the perfect infinitive. The perfect infinitive is formed with have plus past participle. For example, to have gone, to have helped. The perfect infinitive is used in conditional sentences. So conditional sentences we know children, if clause. For example, if you had worked harder, you would have passed. So if you had worked harder, conditional. And here you can see children, have passed, perfect infinitive. It is used with would and should to express an unfulfilled obligation. For example, she should have helped her. It is used with could to express an ability that was not used in the past. For example, I could have helped him, but I didn't. So you can see children here, could plus perfect infinitive, that is have helped. It can be used with needn't to express what was not necessary in the past. For example, you needn't have carried an umbrella because it was not raining. So you can see children here, needn't plus perfect infinitive, that is have carried. Now let us discuss uses of gerund. The gerund is formed with verb plus ing, that is for example here swimming, walking, speaking, etc. It is partly a verb and partly a noun. It is called a gerund when it is used as a noun. For example, I saw her dancing. So dancing here in this sentence is verb plus ing, which acts as an adjective. So here dancing is present participle. Next example, dancing keeps you fit. So dancing here, verb plus ing, is acting as a noun here in the sentence, which is a gerund. It can function as an adjective also. For example, she bought a dancing doll for her daughter. So you can see here children, dancing as an adjective and dancing describes doll here. The gerund can be used as a subject. For example, smoking is harmful to health. So here you can see children, smoking at the subject position. It can be used as the object of a verb. I love swimming. So you can see children, swimming, that is gerund, which is an object of the verb love. It can be used as the object of a preposition. For example, she is fond of cooking. So here you can see children, cooking, gerund, is an object of preposition of here in the sentence. It can be used as subject complement. For example, his hobby is gardening. So you can see children here, gardening, gerund, which is used as subject complement. It is also used as complement of an adjective. For example, I was busy solving a sum. So you can see children, gerund, solving, complement of an adjective. It is used in short prohibitions. For example, no parking, no smoking, no drinking. So you can see children, parking, smoking, drinking, these are gerunds that are used to express prohibition. The gerund can be used after the following verbs like advise, allow, avoid, choose, consider, continue, defend, deny, dislike, enjoy, escape, finish, forbid, forget, forgive, help, like, love, recommend, regret, remember, suggest, etc. For example, he likes playing cards. So you can see children here, gerund, playing, and the verb likes. It can be used in the following pattern, that is verb plus preposition or adjective. For example, I have given up smoking. So verb given, preposition up, and gerund smoking. It can be used in the pattern verb plus object plus preposition plus gerund. Look at the example children. We assured them of helping her. So you can see children, verb assured, object them, preposition of, and gerund helping. It can also be used in the pattern adjective plus preposition plus gerund. For example, I am confident of standing first. So here you can see children, adjective, confident, preposition of, and gerund standing. Next is the present participle. The present participle is formed with bare infinitive plus ing. Example, eating, sleeping, walking, etc. In its finite form, it is used to form continuous tense. For example, I saw him entering the room. So here you can see children, finite verb saw and continuous tense entering, which is a present participle. In its non-finite form, it functions as a verb as well as an adjective. For example, it is indeed an amusing story. So here you can see children, it functions as an adjective. A present participle can be used as an object complement. For example, we kept her waiting. So here present participle waiting is used as an object complement children. Object, that is her. It can be used after come and go. She is going for swimming. So you can see here children, swimming, that is present participle, and after the verb going. It can be used after the verbs of perception like see, feel, hear, notice, observe, etc. For example, we heard the bell ringing. So here you can see children, verb heard and present participle ringing. It can be used as an adjective. For example, a rolling stone gathers no moss. So here you can see children, rolling present participle and it is used as an adjective. It is used when two actions occur at the same time or occur one after the other. For example, she ran away crying. So you can see two actions, ran, crying. So both are going on at the same time. Next is seeing the policeman, the thief ran away. You can see children, seeing one action, ran away another action and it has occurred one after the other. Now about misrelated or unrelated participle. A participle not properly related to the noun or the pronoun, that is subject of the clause, is called a misrelated or unrelated participle. For example, sleeping in the garden, a snake stung me. The sentence is unacceptable because it is not the snake that is sleeping. The sentence should be changed as under, while I was sleeping in the garden, I was stung by a snake. Now let us discuss uses of past participle. The past participle is formed by adding d or ed to the verb. Example, tired, defeated, disappointed, etc. The past participle can be used as an adjective. For example, he has given a written reply. So here you can see children, past participle written has been used as an adjective. The past participle is used to form perfect tenses. He has gone to Dehradun. So you can see children here, gone, past participle is used as perfect tense, that is has gone. The past participle can replace a subject plus passive verb. For example, he enters, he is accompanied by his father. So let us see how it can be replaced. He enters accompanied by his father. The past participle can be used as subject complement. For example, all of us become tired. So here you can see children, it is used as subject complement. It can be used as object complement. For example, we saw the cars damaged. So here you can see children, past participle damaged has been used as an object complement. Last is the perfect participle. The perfect participle is used to express that the first action is complete and the second action starts only after the completion of the first one. Look at the example children. Having done her homework, she went to market. So you can see children, first the action of doing homework has been completed and then she went to market. This was all about non-finite verbs children. Do remember to practice exercises regularly. Thank you.